Sunday. Women in the morning get a little World Cup. Men in the evening get a Gold Cup.
Check this out. Back here with Chris Mannix, we're going viral. Giannis and his brother practicing in Greece. That is not a bad view. Learning how to dribble the basketball.
This whole basketball family now.
I think that's his older brother, but he's got a younger brother that is supposedly great.
Really?
Well, so there could be two Giannis family members playing at a high level in the NBA.
Absolutely. Well, that is all. Awesome. Giannis back in Greece, fresh off his MVP. I don't know what part of Greece that's in, but that is gorgeous.
Clean living. Clean living.
Yeah, that is gorgeous.
And if we talk about multiple Antetokounmpos, it's Antetokounmpos.
Jenna,
probably. It took me a year to finally get it. So anyone else in the family that wants to make it to the NBA, I'm more than happy
on a roster right now.
Yes.
Well, Dallas drafted one of the other ones, and people think that's because they want to try to lure him in a couple of
smart.
years.
It's a heady play. A little early recruitment.
All right, moving on to the biggest story yet to happen in the NBA, and that would be Kawhi Leonard and his decision. It's narrowed down to the Clippers, Lakers, or Raptors, but according to friend of the show, Chris Broussard, this one's really down to just a coin flip, with the Claw doing some deep soul-searching between two teams, the Lakers and the Raptors. All right, Mannix, what do you think the decision will tell us about Kawhi, depending on which way he goes?
I think it'll tell us what's really important to him. And I had this conversation with people when it came to Kyrie Irving, where I wondered what was really important to him. Is it money? Is it living in Brooklyn? Is the chance to get far away from Boston? And Kawhi's presented with options that are just completely different from each other. I mean, you stay in Toronto and you're buying into the team concept they have there. You're buying into what happened there this past season. You go to the Clippers, you're believing in their infrastructure and you want to be the man on a team in your hometown. You go to the Lakers and you're saying, I want to be on a super team there. So I think we'll just learn what Kawhi values. I've said this before, and like anyone that thinks that the insight into Kawhi Leonard is very difficult to actually get, but if he went to the Lakers, it would just be against everything that I know about this guy. Just what I know about this guy is that he believes he's the best player on the team, any team he's on, that he's the best player on the floor every time he steps on it, and his team, regardless of who's around him, is going to be able to win. Him forming a super team has never really lined up with what I know about the guy.
Well, the reason why it doesn't line up is because he didn't form a super team. His team growing up, since he was a kid, happened to be the Los Angeles Lakers. When all he knew about professional basketball was the San Antonio Spurs. When he had a problem with them, he told them specifically, trade me to a place. And they were like, they're not going to help out the Lakers. He said, okay, trade me to L.A. I was the first one to report Kawhi Leonard will play for the Clippers. That was because they wouldn't trade him to the Lakers. And you know what's happened since then? LeBron James left his hometown to go to L.A. L.A. with Rob Pelinka, people didn't think he could get it done. He put all those picks together in players, and he has Anthony Davis. Kawhi just happens to be a free agent right now. So it's not like he formed a super team. Kawhi, it's always been this. He's concerned about his body. He's concerned about his basketball development. All right? And he's concerned about winning championships. They have told me that Kawhi will not avoid a team address because they have great players. That's the reason why, part of the reason why the Clippers with KD were so exciting for him. The Knicks with KD. That's why he was going to interview with the Knicks and with Brooklyn. So it's not like Kawhi has not thought about it. In Kawhi Leonard's priorities. You're right. No one knows him, but I've had insight. All right. I think I'm the closest person, and he would not avoid playing with great players if everything else lines up. If he trusts that medical staff, if he believes the coach can get them in a position and the rest of their staff continue to develop his ability, Kawhi Leonard, that is the misconception about him.
Right. And I think there is a distinction. It would go against what we think we know about Kawhi if leaving Toronto, let's just say Golden State didn't suffer all those injuries, KD stayed. He's like, you know what, I want to go play with them. I want to go play with the Warriors, a team that was never on the radar. Just, nope, easiest championship. I agree with you. He has the highest individual winning percentage of any player in NBA history. And so he has a winning record against basically every other star in this league. He obviously should believe in his mind's eye, I'm the best player alive. All these guys, they'd be on my team, whether that's true or not. But the Lakers...
Say that one more time, man. Because I think people will miss that. That
Kawhi is the highest individual winning percentage
and then what you said after
in NBA history. That they would be on my team.
That's exactly what he's thinking today.
Right. That he's 7 years younger than LeBron. And he is around the same age and vastly more accomplished than Anthony Davis. And so for those reasons, that even if LeBron's in almost special category, LeBron will be 35 on December 30th. Kawhi, you said, just turned 28. So he wouldn't be joined. It would almost be more of a question if he were to have joined a healthy Kevin Durant. Because a lot of you, Durant's around the same age, couple years older, and just as, if in fact, a little more accomplished individually because he's won an MVP. But I agree with you in this regard. The decision will tell us a lot because you can't lie with your actions. If he stays with Toronto, to me what is clear is not only have they earned his enormous trust, but trying to go back-to-back matters. And we've talked about nobody's ever walked away from that opportunity, best player to back-to-back, except for Mikan and MJ, who retired. They didn't go to another team. And by the way, I think people don't understand how rare it is to be the best player, unquestioned best player on back-to-back champion. 9 guys have done it. Mikan, Russell, Magic, Zeke, Akeem, Jordan, Shaq, Kobe, LeBron. Those are the 9. The reason is Steph or KD, I don't know who would be the best player. If you want to say one of them was, then there's 10. He would be walking away from that opportunity, at least to do it in the same organization. If he does that, it will be to go home either to the organization with less talent but more trust, or to the organization with overwhelming talent, but can you really trust them? That's the decision laid at his feet right now.
So, now we wait, right? Now it's going to happen today for the most part, because at this point he's met with all 3 teams. He's weighed every option that Nick has laid out. He's texted you, or at least his uncle has, as many times as possible to say we're still waiting. Is this when it happens?
Yesterday this was a situation. There's still 3 teams involved, and they said no decision was going to be made on the 4th of July. Uncle Dennis, it is his birthday today, and they did tell me that over a week ago. So today is the only day that a decision could potentially be made, because I know their minds were not made up along the way, and they wanted to give the Raptors a real opportunity at trying to convey what they were going to do moving forward.
What do you... Go ahead, Jen.
Does it surprise you that, I mean, we have been here for weeks now going through the pros and cons of every team, and even though he's been playing basketball, does this surprise you at all, Chris, that he is not swaying one way or another, that at this point it's really up in the air of these 3 teams?
Not really, because of how the Raptors season ended. I mean, it ended in a championship, and that adds another variable to the table that he has to take into account. I mean, he's not a player like Kyrie whose season ended in mid-May, and once your season ends, then you really start to think about what your future is going to be. And Durant's been thinking about what's going to happen with him for the better part of a year now. I mean, for Kawhi Leonard, everything that's added up over the last few months has to be taken into account. I'm talking about the shot he made against Philly, winning in the conference finals at home against Milwaukee, winning a championship. All these things you have to really kind of soak up and digest a little bit. That's why it doesn't surprise me that he's taken this long.
And I think a lot of guys would take more than 2 hours or 2 days if they knew all my options will wait on me.
Yeah.
Like, how many guys made a free agency decision that we think might end up regretting it in a year?
I don't think their decision is based on the time. All right? I don't think it has anything to do with the time. I think that they ended a little more than 3 weeks ago, the NBA. This roadmap that they're on, they set out this process. They didn't know how free agency was going to go. It was going to go like this or longer. If Brooklyn and the Nets were taking the interviews, we would still be waiting for Toronto to finish up today getting the last interview.
Agreed. The point that I'm making is, Nikola Vucevic, for example, would he have, if he knew I'm going to have 4 years, 100 million waiting on me no matter what, would he have weighed more options? Would he have tried to meet with teams? If Bojan Bogdanovic is new, no matter what, I'm getting almost 19 million a year on a 4-year deal. Would he have interviewed with more teams? From talking to agents, and I know you have as well, what I was told is because of the 6 p.m. start time where everyone's awake, everyone's up and going, there was an element of, here is the offer, we are only going to hold it for an hour or for 90 minutes. So no one's putting that time pressure on Kawhi. And everyone in life on a major decision should take as much time as they can, weigh all their options, talk to as many people as possible, get all the information. Everyone else is just not in that position. Philly wasn't going to hold that money for Al Horford for a week and then risk losing out on everybody else.
All I'm saying is the host of a morning show, if Kawhi waits another week, we are literally going to run out of material.
It should be noted.
No, I'm not.
It'll be great for Chris Carter.
No.
But it should be noted real quick. If Kawhi waits another 3 days, the Lakers all of a sudden are in a very rough spot. The Lakers need this decision before the evening of July 6th because of the timing of the Anthony Davis stuff. Bobby Marks laid this out better than I can, but just the Lakers almost would have to take themselves out of the running if he doesn't have a decision by the time we're on the air Monday.
I think Danny Green wants a decision too. Danny Green in his podcast starting to get a little anxious about what's happening right now with Kawhi.
Mannix, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Great week, really appreciate it.
Yes.
Have a great weekend.
Appreciate it, bro.
Coming up here, should we already start counting titles for Kyrie and KD? That is next up.
My phone is hot, man. You don't want to get this phone now.